It is everyone's favorite segment, and it is called AEW News, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone all together now. Ichi Nissan da. For AEW News. So AEW's running Collision from the MHN Arena in Huntington, WV on West Virginia on September 27. The VIP presale, blah, blah, blah. And it's like a high school gym where they have like mats laid out there to do wrestling and whatever. Now, I mean, you can get quite a few people in there. I'm not knocking feds that do shows and venues this side. I know this gentleman I bookmarked is, but it is what it is. Danhausen's AEW deal was extended. So it was talked about how Danhausen is expected to leave AEW, and he asked to leave AEW. But they were like, no, we're actually going to freeze your time because they know WWE is going to make this guy so much money. I reacted to something a dirt sheet said about Danhausen, and he blocked me. And I didn't say, I just said, God bless you and your family or something like that. And maybe he's like a rank atheist or something, and I don't know. And whatever, it is what it is. I just meant it like, dude, I hope you're not going through. Sorry, you know. But he blocked me for just reacting to what a dirt sheet said about like him and his wife or something at the time. So I still love Danhausen. It's all good. But so I'll always put him over. But yeah, I can't see his tweets or anything unless I like go sleuth them out, and I'm not about to waste my time doing that on Twitter. So Danhausen, shout him out. He wants to get free. And they're like, no, we're going to freeze you for the injury time that you've put up, even though they weren't using him when he was healthy, and is the funniest part. And yeah, he's going to go to WWE. He's going to be, I think he'd be funny in NXT. And then you can cross him over with like Mr. Iguana on one of those AAA shows, Joe Hendry, all that silly shit will go viral. And he'll be funny on NXT. Not even saying he'll win any titles or anything like that, but they're going to make so much money off his face paint and his gimmick and his action figures. And he's popular already, like at cons and all that sort of. So yeah, it's just going to be such a good move when he leaves. And again, the AEW exodus of 2025 continues. All right. Switchblade had this to say. Well, Tony Khan had this to say, actually. Tony Khan says AEW is now profitable. So let's listen.
You can put that into the wrestling promotion, into the marketing, into the wrestlers, into the hopefully profitability, which is great now with AEW having the new media rights. We are really a much healthier, stronger business. Our revenues are much higher than ever, and it's really exciting because we're a young, growing company that continues to grow the revenues every year. And we've done so well, but certainly you can put that into the wrestling promotion, into the marketing, into the
I just want to hear it one more time because I don't know if I believe it yet.
Wrestlers, and
digest this as he says it one more time.
The hopefully profitability, which is great now with AEW.
Hopefully profitability, which is great now with AEW. So let's dissect this. He didn't say yet that they're profitable. Maybe he will in 1 second.
You having the new media rights. We are really a much healthier, stronger business. Our revenues are much higher than ever.
See, he didn't say they're profitable, you idiots. He didn't even say
Tony
that.
Khan.
Guys, look at what this says right here. I need to quote tweet this. See, Switchblade pointed it out. Tony Khan confirming that AEW is now profitable. No, that's not what he did at all. He said, hopefully profitable. Let's listen to that one more time. And then he says, and that's what's great with our new TV deal. We're more healthy and are bringing in more revenue. But he didn't say, now we're healthily profitable. We're in the green now. He didn't say that. It's not about, see, redacts on the internet, these sickos, bro, they don't understand like language, like the way, it's not even what people are saying, it's like the way they say it sometimes. And Tony knows what he's doing here by dancing around the words. But he confirmed that. I bet if I click on this tweet, there'll be 30,000 sickos like this.
You can put that into
it's not even what he said. It's just a fundamental misunderstanding of what he said.
Wrestling promotion, into the marketing, into the wrestlers, into
one more time.
Hopefully profitability, which is great now with AEW.
Hopefully profitability, which is great now with AEW.
You having the new media rights. We
having the new media rights
are really a much healthier, stronger business. Our revenue.
We are really a much healthier, stronger business.
These are much higher than ever, and it's really exciting.
Our revenues are much higher than ever. Okay.
Because we're a young, growing company that continues to grow the revenues every year. And we've done so well. But certainly you can put that into the wrestling promotion, into the marketing, into the wrestlers, into the hopefully profitability, which
he said hopefully. I don't know. I don't take that at all as I don't interpret it the way that guy did. MVP warns indie wrestlers to stop doing dangerous moves for $25 and 75 people. Yeah, he's goddamn right, man. MVP, keep saying your thing, man. Keep spitting because people need to hear this shit. CM Punk, speaking of Danhausen, was in Danhausen's blog and gave him an interesting new shirt. And why wouldn't Danhausen do this? Of course, everybody pointing out, oh, well, Danhausen's friends with Punk, and that's why they're punishing him. No shit. That's why everyone buried Aleister Black as well, right? Because he's the guy who had Punk's back in the fucking footage. You see him right there, ready to fucking roll for Punk. So it's all of these guys who are friends with Punk, and that's why Dax FTR and them kiss so much balls, because they aligned with Punk. They were just down with him. They were his boys, and then now they have to kiss so much balls, or else they're not going to be fucking used and stuff like that. So,
all right.
And the people who don't do that don't get used, and then they end up leaving, and they get frozen. Their time gets frozen, even though Tony's not going to use them, and then their merch gets put on hold, and they get Ray Phoenixed and shit. That's what keeps happening to the people we know that have bigger ambitions or are friends with Punk or certain people. Other folks who were friends with them just kiss a ton of balls, or the people who are against them never have these issues. It's weird. It's strange.
I broke into your hotel room, and
if you're completely neutral, you just get ghosted.
That I have 2 minutes, so I have a gift for you. Listen. You turn around, the camera's over here. I'm filming this. Nice t-shirt. I hate all of this. No, you don't. Anyways, I followed you to New Jersey for Slammer Slam. You're here. I'm doing signings, making lots of money.
So fucking, he's like, I followed you to New Jersey for SummerSlam, Danhausen, saying this. He's under AEW contract. He tried to get out. You know Punk's going to get this guy a fucking job. And I mean, he's just like, whatever. I was at New Jersey doing signings and shit. Like, I'm not being booked. It's so crazy. It's so dirty how Tony Khan does these motherfuckers when all these sickos were like, release Free Ali and shit. Looks like Tony Khan wants a slice of the ECW pie, or maybe just a sliver. So again, man, WWE announced WrestlePalooza, which we're going to talk about in a bit, and they put it up against AEW All Out Toronto. And it's funny because Tony Khan's like the biggest ECW mark ever. But again, Tony Khan moving in on dancing around instead of being original. It's September to remember instead of November to remember. September to remember. And it'll likely, that's what they're going to call their AEW at the 2300 ECW arena. That's what they're going to call those shows, is September to remember, or that tour, right? And it's just so cringe because it's just playing off of shit that like you had no hand in. I know you're a fan of it, but like be original, dude. Do your own shit. It's just all a parody of everything else, or like a cheap imitation of everything else. And it's unfortunate, man. So here's Dave Meltzer, here's Dave Meltzer's son, Tony Khan. Well, we have Tony Khan cringe. Let's circle back to the Tony Khan cringe. But Matt Jackson says Hangman Page has become a bigger star than he ever expected. And I'm just like, bro, how? Like, what house is, like, is that a compliment? Because there's nothing. Is that supposed to be a compliment, bro? So, Copeland on the last Dynamite went into the fucking crowd and was talking to everybody. He's like, is there any hoes in this house, or whatever the fuck was going on?
Does Stokely have any chance in hell of getting you?
Is this a serious question?
Yes.
No, absolutely.
Stoke, you're not getting lucky tonight either, bud. Let's go.
Well, there's nothing wrong with being undersized in height, like short. I take offense to this. You know?
So nobody said there's hoes in this house. Oh, Alfred Cunha was like saying that is essentially what he's saying. Yeah, that's funny. It's just, I was making fun of that on Dynamite. I was like, dude, this sounds like it's a fucking stand-up comedy show. Like, what's going on here? So Mercedes Mone was on a sport Bible. Things got a bit wild as AEW's Mercedes Vernado tries a porno star martini for the first time. So let's check out Mercedes Monea.
My favorite. If anybody
My favorite.
me, I love mezcal, but I do love tequila.
I love a mezcala. Mia and Torus drink it on my trailer. On my trailer. On it too.
So, salute. I'm back. And this is a what? Passion fruit.
It's a porn star martini.
A porn star martini.
We say corn star here on YouTube.
Yes. You ever had one before?
Martinia.
Never.
Never.
Ooh, that's lovely.
Ooh.
And I gotta choose? What's in this one?
Vanilla vodka, passion
Vanilla vodka.
fruit, and lime juice.
I feel like I need some tequila in it. You see. There you go, baby. Can I choose both?
Yeah, you can.
This is the drink you need. This combo with this. Oh my God.
What would you call it?
USK.
Okay.
You like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So moving along here, AEW Dynamite saw slight decreases in total viewership in the 18 to 49. However, the numbers were on the higher end. 690K viewers, down 3% from last week, 0.17. So again, just below the 700K. Collision bombed as well. They did 286K in viewership. Again, Dave loves to be like, that's all on streaming. But no, Dave, what's the excuse when the fluctuation is this large? But then they all come back. Oh, they just put on a great show. It popped a number. No, dude. There's just they're sort of at their fans. They might be growing maybe a bit. I don't even know though. Like, do the houses reflect that? I don't think so. Year over year, they're down. The houses tell you if you're fucking growing or not. Okay. No, it doesn't necessarily mean that. Yes, it does, bro. Yes, it fucking does. If Chris Angel does that Mind Freak show and no one's watching the shit, and then he's, selling out in fucking Vegas when his show's on top, and then now like his numbers are hurting when Vegas, and he doesn't have that fucking show anymore, and that shit's not popular. Like, yeah, I would say that it's related directly. I try. So Copeland asked a fan what he thought of Big Stokely.
All right. I want to take a little poll. Hey, what do you think of Stokely?
Little poll. Like Stokely's. Oh, then grab his dick. Oh, go. A little poll? What did you just get out the shower? It's cold outside. Get me a coat. I'm dying over here.
Yo, he's short, he's bald, and gets no hose.
Oh, man.
To be fair, that was Stokely's own admission.
Yeah, he's been watching the show. Oh, Lord. All right. I want to.
Right on. Was that Ryan Satin? I couldn't tell. Oops, got rid of the clip. We'll just stick with it with Satin. How about that? So Wrestle Purists post this, that White Castle and AEW have launched a collaborative All Elite Feast kit for a limited time for $65. Dude, I want one of these. Included in the kit are 10 classic cheese sliders, 10 cheddar bacon cheese sliders, 1 7-ounce pouch with pickles, 2 gooey butter cakes. Gooey butter cakes. I'm just not even gonna go there. What is that? Like, no. And 2 strawberry swirl cheesecakes. It also contains slider boxes and VIP coupons. Coupons is how I say it. I say it like this. Coupons. Good for up to 12 I also say Tuesday. 12 sliders from a local freezer aisle and 2 pieces of exclusive AEW merchandise. So 2 pieces of merchandise that aren't selling. So they're like, here, or is it like kids' toys? Like, what are we talking about here? VIP coupons for up to 12 sliders from the freezer aisle. So it's like groceries, everything, man. I mean, for $65, that's a pretty good fucking deal, though. Everybody, of course, made the jokes like, oh, 10 classic cheese sliders. That's enough for an AEW neckbeard. and the Ted cheddar bacon cheese sliders is enough for their wife. Oh, you know, everybody jumped on the like, yeah, they're fat. That's enough. That's not hardly enough food, you know, da 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 da. So I'm not going to make those jokes, even though I just did them. Oh, is Joe back? They're trying, I guess. But yeah, that just all looks delicious. I want sliders now. Let's take a look here. Swerve Strickland had this to say on Big Gold Belt. He said, I really feel like over the last year, All Elite Wrestling, the marketing department, the social team, everything has just stepped up so much tenfold. Not just in the ring, not just the product you see on TV, not just the stories and the people, like the talent. I feel like everybody behind the scenes from top to bottom, the camera work, the production, everybody stepped up so much. I mean, I guess so. And then Awful says everything but the booking. So exclusive, dude. We'll circle back to that. So Thirsty Thurston is like, should know TBS and TNT's future is probably consolidation. WBD is already being split, which could accommodate that eventuality. By the end of AEW's current team, TBS and TNT could be under the same umbrella as Paramount or USA or some other WWE partner, which would be fucking hilarious if AEW got the shaft for WWE in the end, which could end up happening. Now, some people are like, why would you root for that? This is why, because you're assholes. And we have shit like this to kick off this fucking show. Every show, it's the same shit. People are tired of it, man. We want it to be goddamn good. So much wasted opportunity in the short, not even short. It's been 6 long years of AEW, it feels like. Taz reveals he will be missing AEW and Forbidden Door. He's like, I'll be off this week. A combo of doctor's appointments, some imaging tests on a couple of future surgeries, some R&R, and most importantly, my new knee does not cooperate well with very long flights at the moment. Yeah, rest up, Taz. You and JR. JR shouldn't even be out there. Rest up, and we'll see you on the flip side. So Raj Giri responds to Cultaholic, who posts this shit here about WWE are going so heavy on counter-programming AEW because they want to put Tony Khan's promotion out of business by the time AEW's current TV deal with WBD is up for renewal, according to a new report. I think it's deeper than that. I think Triple H wants to buy AEW and absorb it one day the way Vince did and claim, like, to WCW and ECW and shit, and claim it as his first victim. Maybe that's going too hard in the paint and too deep, but I just think that's why we've seen this ramped up so much. And I just think they enjoy kicking them around too. At no point is AEW a real threat with the booking. That's the problem. It's so funny too, because this isn't a money thing. There's nothing to this other than Tony Khan needs to get the fuck out of the way creatively and let other people operate this shit. And he needs to just like dabble in with some of the creative and shit and just be, if he really must, and just be like, hey, this is what I'm thinking. I want to get here. How do we get here? I want to do this and this and this and this and this. But he's not thinking that far ahead. He's just booking shit the week of, man. And so it's just never going to happen. And it's so funny. Like, they have everything they need to where they could legit, AEW could be tying up with WWE. And maybe it's slow and steady. Like, maybe Tony is like, no, dude, we're seeing success and we're growing. And he's just buying into that notion. And he's just like, we'll catch them eventually. And maybe they do eventually. I doubt it at the rate WWE's going in these last few years of growth, while AEW seemingly had years of decline that they're claiming are growth. I don't know. Even like scooping up all the free agents. Like, Tony's not just doing that all the time now. Like, just scooping everyone up. They're even talking about like, well, Tony's not just going to spend money on these guys. Well, why is that? I feel like everything they've done has been smaller scale. The pay-per-view, fucking, they're going to residencies. The pay-per-views don't look different or don't have cool stages anymore. It's a fucking drag, man. So Raj Giri says this makes no sense. They know that AEW's Golden Goose is their TV deal. If they were really, and this is what I agree with as well. Okay, this is what Raj makes sense with. Okay, he says they know that AEW's Golden Goose is their TV deal. If they were really trying to put AEW out of business, wouldn't they be putting one of their shows head to head with Dynamite? Exactly. Why aren't they doing that? Because, well, no, here's the thing. You don't just like go. You don't just say, everyone storm the line and just close your eyes and start swinging. WWE's just sticking and moving, bro. They're just jabbing. Okay. Yeah, we'll do a show. We'll make a whole show head to head. First, it was just like, oh, our show goes head to head. Oh, well. Oh, our show happens to go head to head. Okay, we'll put our legends on there. Oh, okay. Now we'll do a PLE weekend. We'll add a PLE because our PLE is the night before because we can. Okay, now we'll just add a PLE on the same day as your pay-per-view. Da 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 da. They're just like sticking and moving right now, feeling their opponent out. You know, you don't just like go in for the kill. Right? Michael Myers doesn't just stab a bitch unless you're like an old lady in her house. Then he might just walk in your kitchen and stab you. But even then, he stalks his prey a little bit, right? So that's what it is. And but Raj does make sense. Like they could just go right after the TV deal, like the TV head to head, and go after the numbers. But it's all strategic, and TNA is a part of it for sure. But they're also not just going to sacrifice the momentum TNA built by putting that shit on Wednesday either. And everybody blew that fucking dumbass story out of proportion because they're dumbasses. They're fucking Edge's pyro didn't even go off. God damn it. What is Raj saying here? Nick Khan is a strategic businessman, and I think what's happening is that with the big deals UFC and WWE were offered for their pay-per-views, PLEs this year, he wants to hurt AEW's pay-per-view side so they don't get a big separate rights deal for those. This is just speculation, but they have only been targeting their pay-per-views, and it started this year. Right, because their pay-per-view numbers, like let's say Dave's reporting of them is accurate and they are going up and they are growing and shit, which I just don't believe. Then that is something that does harm and take away from AEW. It does, going after, because what does everybody say about Tony? It's like to bust his ego. Oh man, AEW pay-per-views. Like, man, if you don't watch the show, that's one thing. But like, man, Tony knows how to book pay-per-views. This card is stacked. Oh, this card's more stacked than this WWE PLE. So what did they do, man? They went with Lesnar and the Naomi cash-in, and they went with the shock and awe factor of just fucking stealing headlines. And by the way, I have a conspiracy theory that I think they may have possibly known about, well, whatever. WWE may have known Naomi was pregnant and did maths and maybe talked to health people and were like, well, okay, does she have 6 weeks or whatever? You know what I mean? Like, how, so she can go for like a month? Can we strap her up? Because I don't think Naomi's ever going to. That's, I think, a cherry on her fucking career, guys. She might come and lose one time down the line. We'll talk about this more in WWE news, but I just don't I don't see her ever having a run like that again. I'm sorry. So shout her out. And I called that one again. If you guys listen to PWT, we're 40 fucking steps ahead on that one. But either way, back to AEW here with the TV. What AEW has, why they're going after the pay-per-views and PLEs first, because they will go after the TV, but why they're going after it first and why they put Evolve on Wednesdays at the same time as Dynamite on YouTube is because they know that AEW's fan base is largely online. They looked at the numbers, they looked at the trends like we all do, like we all have. And I'm sure they look at these illegal sites too, just to see like what are the numbers like and how, you know. And they see that AEWs tend to skew fucking pretty high, you know, comparatively to WWE. And that's not a coincidence. We had JD from NY's co-host, Chi-Town Smark. He's like, dude, I don't pay for anything. Like, people just send me links and logins to their shit. And it's like, whoa, man, the fuck? And you cry this hard about, like, why do you give a shit then on these pay-per-views? Not saying everyone's got to buy every fucking pay-per-view. And I get it if like you're like, dude, I want to watch AEW, but I can't justify paying $50 for this. I'm not against that. I'm not a fucking angel. I haven't bought every UFC ever. I'll admit it, right? The pirate ship is fucking there. Like, we all fucking can be honest about that. I'm not like condemning that. I'm just saying that when he's like, I don't pay for nothing at all and like, fuck it, then it's like, why do you even care about, you know? So it's weird. But the reason they're going after the PLEs is because their presence is largely online. And if they can steal the internet hype buzz away with like Brock Lesnar's back, everyone's talking about WWE. No one cares about Hangman 2 days after it happened. No one cares about this Hangman title run. No one gives a fuck. No one cares. Who's he wrestling at Forbidden Door, dude? No one gives a shit. And then like Moxley and them are just moved on from the title and shit. It's just so stupid. And we called it. We're like, the title doesn't mean anything to Moxley. So he's just going to continue doing what he's doing. Like, that's fucking stupid. You know, there should have been building up to some sort of like where when the bloodline ended, we all just accepted it, but they could transition into Solo's jealous of Roman. Solo's jealous of Roman and talking shit. So then when Roman comes back, we're like, oh fuck, they didn't martyr Moxley where like his boys turn on him or anything like that. They didn't do fucking anything with it. And it's just more of the same. So anyways, Raj says, so they're trying to prevent AEW from getting a separate deal for their pay-per-views when the time comes. Seems like it to me, but they're trying to put them out of business again. If they were, they'd target counter-program Dynamite. They're just trying to hit Tony where it hurts. That's why they're doing the WrestlePalooza thing. That's why they are stealing, because Tony gets the hype for, he books these crazy pay-per-views. So if they can steal that hype away from him, that hurts him. That hurts his soul. That's why it's petty. The pettiness knows no bounds, and that's why you guys come to PWT. The P is for petty, and the P is for psychological breakdown, which is what I do here at PWT, and no one's breaking it down like that, man. It's just, this is where it hurts Tony's soul. You know, fuck. They're not talking about how great my pay-per-view is booked. They're like, holy shit, what's going to happen at this WWE show? Then they'll swoop in. And with the YouTube thing, they're like, okay, we'll scrape a bit of these online viewers on Wednesdays. They'll watch Evolve, and then we go from there. And I'm sure that's like a bit of it. I'm sure that's not like the whole mentality behind it, but I'm sure they've discussed, well, sure. I mean, if there's floaters online, there's a lot of people who are like, yeah, I watch AEW just on YouTube and shit. Like, I won't go out of their pay-per-views are banging, but whatever. So if they can steal that away, like, damn, dude, these WWE PLEs, the first one on ESPN, you can't miss it, bro. Cuervo's going to be there. If that's the hype they get, hey, man, it's a W. MJF unmasked Mistico and hit him with a tombstone pile driver at CMLL. What is it? Viernes Espectacular.
Campeón del mundo, MJF.
Otra vez.
¿Cuántas lleva?
2. Ya lo hizo.
Y esto, no, eso
No,
sí.
qué humillación, ¿eh?
No,
qué
es una
humillación
tremenda
sobre el
para
estandarte,
para
sobre el
Mistico.
rey de plata y
Los
oro.
fanáticos, ve nada más cómo lo tiene. No, no, no. Cuidado, Martinete, no. Aquí no. Lo puede lesionar a Mistico, no. No.
Listen, with the Naomi thing, so look, he puts on his mask. The crowd goes insane. I mean, good for MJF. He's getting a lot of heat in Mexico. I'm fucking down with it.
No.
¿Qué acabamos de ver?
Fuck Mexico! Fuck Mexico!
And then
Fuck all of you!
and then it's like not even a clever promo to get heat or anything. He just goes, fuck Mexico, fuck all of you. It's like, that's hack, bro. That's the little dick stuff. Huh? Fat guy. Huh? Gaylord. Huh? Swirly. Am I right, guys? It's like middle schooler shit.
Bueno, eso no podemos decirlo, creo yo, no tiene posibilidad. Campeón del mundo.
It's a pickle. A pickle's like a dick. Am I right, guys? Haha. It's just fucking, I don't know. I just think it's cringy. But he's just like, fuck you guys. Okay. With the Naomi thing, though, guys, she talked about it like that. She wanted to have kids and she wanted to have a lot of kids, and the clock was ticking. We covered it on the show. When women start talking like that, and I know from experience, it's called baby fever, chat. Okay. I don't guys, it's happening, you know, they're trying. Trust me. They're trying. It's always unexpected when a pregnancy fucking happens. But for your next AEW segment, looks like another disgruntled AEW employee. Thank you, Jefferson Jr. Let's analyze this. John Silver at Silver number 1 says, despite not being on AEW TV yet this year, brutal. This is the number 1 top selling shirt on Shop AEW this week. That's fucking brutal. Now, I'll be honest, that's a nicer shirt than a lot of the other shirts they've had in the history of this company. I won't lie. That's actually, if WWE had a group called Dark Order and dropped that same shirt, I would not laugh at it. I'd be like, well, that's all right. I don't know if I'd buy it, but it's like, that's actually okay merch. So I think they got a new merch guy or gal, and that's actually been working out for them. It's less AI shit. But he's like, thanks to all the fans, and go buy one if you haven't. How bad is AEW shop? How bad is their fucking website if that's the top selling shirt? They're making no money. It's all Pro Wrestle Tees, man. So Cristiano Ferreira says, we'll buy one if they have it on the merch stands for Dynamite tomorrow. Silver says they won't. Jesus fucking Christ. So they don't even go on their website and go, well, the number 1 selling shirt is this one. Let's have it at the shows. There's no one doing that. Well, we don't sell enough on our site to qualify doing that. That's the only excuse or explanation you could give for that, where I would go, okay, makes sense. Right? Because you don't want to be sitting on boxes of shit that ain't selling and lugging them around, especially. So them doing that, I think, is a good move. You would think they'd be scouting this shit out. And so moving along here as Luchasaurus returns, or Kill Switch, I don't know what they're calling him, but it's going to be Nick Wayne and Kill Switch versus Christian Cage and Edge, which, again, is this the move? Or are there other teams? Could we be seeing Edge and Christian versus Hurt Business for the World Tag Titles in like a long-term feud or something? But I guess there needs to be a payoff for the Nick Wayne stuff, and then Kip Sabian's here. It would have been better if Luchasaurus just came back with Jack Perry, in my opinion. Okay, guys? So the pride of professional wrestling, again, Anthony Bowens. He attended the Harold and Carol Pump Foundation 25th Anniversary Celebrity Dinner. The event honored several members, including Barry Bonds, for contributions and raising funds to cure cancer. And he's out here, bro. He's fucking out here. Okay, Cedric the Entertainer. We got Shaquille O'Neal. Right? We got everybody out here. Magic, I think, was there. So shout him out. He's there where the celebrities are at. Like, he's really doing the damn thing. They should push him more on TV. Like, what would it hurt to actually give him something of substance? So Raj Desi, formerly WWE star Jinder Mahal, was asked by TMZ's Inside the Ring if he's open to going to AEW. He says, I would have to see if the business makes sense. What's the storyline? Is there a plan for me, or am I just coming to do nothing? Whatever I do, I want to do something next level. I don't want to just coast anymore. Tony Khan. They're never going to have that, Raj. They're never going to have something that makes sense in AEW. Tony Khan was asked which wrestler in their prime from any era he would sign to AEW, and he says, Steve Austin. If you could get Steve Austin in the 90s and just have Steve Austin for the decade of the 90s, he's the greatest ever. If I had ever been fortunate enough to work with any iteration of Steve Austin, particularly in the 90s or early 2000s, I would count myself very fortunate. Yeah, dude, you fucking better. We would all love Stone Cold. I bet you would love Stone Cold to be on your show. So AEW Collision scored its lowest 18-49 rating and third lowest audience show in history on Saturday. Well, they were all on Max. Okay, they're all back. 100,000 come back next week, Dave. What's the excuse? Collision averaged 286K viewers, down 32% from the last week. And they were down 25% in the fucking key demo, or the 18-49. It's not even the key demo. Year over year, Collision's down 30%, and the 18-49 is down 54%. Holy fuck. Kota Ibushi has revealed that he has signed a new 2-year contract with AEW. Holy shit.
Fucking Mark!
Bro. Kota Ibushi, come on down. 2 years to do what? Rehab his body? It's not even like WWE's looking to scoop this guy. Jesus Christ. Like, I'm glad he's making money. I like Ibushi, especially from back in the day. But he beat himself up so badly. A new 2-year deal. Are you fucking kidding me? And that means too. So that's the thing. Tony was trying to lock everybody up for these long-term deals, but now that that's sort of passed and everyone's been like, fuck, I want out of these things. Now is he just back giving everyone 2-year deals and shit like that? I'll find out. I will actually find out and bring that to the fucking show if that's what he's doing. No dirt sheet. So Hologram is undefeated and has not received a title shot, which is fine. He doesn't need to get a title shot. But listen, man, Hologram, Tony Khan owns the IP. His matches are fun. He does have a streak going. Why not start expanding upon that on Dynamite every week? Have him go out there and have a quick little banger, 205 Live style, a 6-minute quick, build him up. Fans get behind Hologram. He's giving little kids masks, all that shit. You don't do anything crazy. He doesn't get jumped, nothing like that. He just shows up on Dynamite, gets a win. You put over this winning streak. People try to, I want Hologram for an interview. You can't get him for an interview. He's all mysterious and shit. You know, maybe you put the TNT title on him then. not a Ring of Honor one or any of this dumb shit. The TNT title, you build it up, and then you have someone snap his streak, like someone debuting or someone. He does get to the world title match, and it's like TNT champion earned a world title match on a episode of fucking Dynamite or something, but then he finally loses his streak, and you give that to like whoever your next world champion. You don't need to give it to Hangman, but someone you're trying to build up like beats his streak, whatever the fuck. I don't know. There's something there, dude. There's something there, and Tony's gonna fumble it. Like, it's right there, just start doing it on Dynamite now. He won't for some reason. So as we move along here and we talk about the online fans watching AEW on YouTube, Zilla Fatu in 2 days, his interview with Giga Chad Chris Van Vliet got 181K views. 5 months ago, Will Ospreay bruvs with Giga Chad Chris Van Vliet got 121K views. Now, I would love 100K views. What the fuck, man? This is like a guy on millions of dollars over whatever amount of years he's there. And he's getting 121K views when he's even talking about all this Triple H drama and shit in this interview. Zilla Fatu shows up and him talking about Rikishi in 2 days does more than 60K. Like, if that's not an indicator, Zilla Fatu's more popular than your top fucking guy, dude. So I want to hear Dave talking about this TNA streaming numbers being in the 500,000s too, or else shut the fuck up. Like, it's madness. Will Ospreay can't even get 500,000 views on a fucking interview, dude. Hogan's thing got over 1 million. So AEW Rev Tracker, I'm going to check in with chat in a second here. AEW Rev Tracker says, when promoting your global event schedule or having a third party do it for you, remember to have more than one international show on the graphic. If it speaks to a larger problem, the percent of international shows is minute instead of weeks in Philly tour where tickets are selling. Yeah, that's the problem. Like, it's just a little global event schedule. We're in Philly and shit. No, dumbass. Just announce like AEW. I don't know who put this together. Okay, but yeah, dude, AEW. No, I don't think this is officially AEW. This might come from some other news source. So just some Mark made this graphic. Yeah, just 101, I guess. Marketing 101 or whatever. You make one for the European shit, and then you make one for the American shit. You don't just glom them all together. Shout out Rev Tracker for sort of pointing that out. Cody Rhodes says a huge chapter of his story is locked behind a wall. And he says, I would love to write a book, but an entire huge chapter is locked behind a wall. And everybody got mad at me when I'm like, Cody Rhodes and shit ain't going to be in this fucking AEW book they're putting out. How do you know you haven't even read it? Blah, blah, blah. You motherfuckers are just going to cop out and not call AEW out for changing its fucking history the way WWE does it. And we call it out all the fucking time. And they did it in the past. And you guys won't keep the same energy for this dumb book or that AEW fucking show that what is it called, the one with from the 10 minutes from Tony Khan, All Access, right? They changed their history during that shit as well. They don't bring up Punk at all. They just pretend it's like a feud with the Death Triangle, why they had to vacate the titles and all this shit. They don't talk about the controversy. They're just like, oh, there's so much drama going on here, and they completely fabricate their history for that. And then Cody Rhodes isn't included in that book. You think his side of the story is going to be featured in that fucking AEW book, or are they just going to use quotes from him at the time, which is what they'll do. And then people will come back to my tweet and go, see, he is in the book. And then I'm going to have to tell these full-blown redacts, these restarts, buddy, that's a quote from like 2019 or whatever. So yeah, that's what's going to happen. I'm already predicting it now. But either way, though, Cody Rhodes says, everything I say these days when it comes to AEW is somehow I'm rewriting history. I'm remembering it wrong, even though the receipts are literally on social media. It hurts my heart because I'd love to tell the story. I just have to wait for somebody else to tell the story, and hopefully they include me in it. No, you're going to write a tell-all book when you fucking retire one day. But yeah, dude, they're just going to diminish his contributions, and they're going to talk about that, how they're going to be like, oh, losing Cody Rhodes was like a big deal for us and we knew da-da-da, but then they're going to talk about like, once that chapter closed, it was we brought back the feeling and shit. I know that's what's going to happen in that goofy book. Hangman Page versus MJF for the AEW World Championship has been confirmed for Forbidden Door. So like, that's a solid match, but no one fucking cares. MJF's in all these stop-start fucking little mini feuds. And then like they're just shoehorning this in, so we know MJF's not going to fucking win. Or he should. If he does, I'll be happy, but he's not gonna. And then Hangman, but just announced another announcement. AEW TBS champion Mercedes Mone will compete in a title versus title match against Emerson Jane at RevPro's Global Wars UK show in London this Friday. Mone will put her RevPro Undisputed Women's Championship on the line. So that's actually 2 belts, as we've covered on the show. I believe the RevPro Undisputed British Women's Championship is the RevPro Women's title, and the whatever the fuck British Women's Championship or whatever, when you hold those both, you're the undisputed whatever the fuck champion, okay? I believe. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong on that. And then Jane's Discovery Wrestling Scottish Women's Championship will also be up for grabs. So there you go, man. You know Monet's going to get a Scottish belt. I'm a Scottish now. Hey, Drew, can I be in a Highlander movie with Henry Cavill? I'm going to form a faction with Drew McIntyre. AEW Dynamite, 690K. NXT, 728K. So they just got spanked again. AEW's Beast Mortis threatened legal action, allegedly, on social media after the Taurus appeared on the AAA show. And he didn't actually do that. He was just making a fucking Twitter joke. So he didn't threaten a lawsuit, a lol suit. Like, that's fucking too egregious, Ringside News. But that's what they do. They're the fucking National Enquirer of, dirt sheets. But we broke it down on the show. I guess we looked it up while we were watching AAA. Like, Taurus comes out, and I'm like, what the fuck? Is that Black Taurus or whatever? Like, or the Beast Mortis? And so AAA owned the Taurus thing. So Taurus was Taurus in AEW and in TNA and in AAA and shit before. But now that WWE owns it, they just gave another guy who's like kind of short and stocky the Taurus moniker, and then Black Mortis or Beast Mortis or whatever the fuck his name is what his name is in AEW. And then he put a tweet out like, oh, I'm getting the lawyers ready or the affidavits ready right now or whatever. People are like, what the fuck? And, Ringside News ran with this. You're going to sue them, or is this a joke? People got butthurt and triggered by it. He's clearly joking. But then he pulled a dumbass, and Mortis goes, oh, man, I was just kidding about that. You fucked up! You fucked up! You fucked up! It was about a fucking woman who got domestically assaulted in Minecraft. I don't know if that, in Roblox. Roblox getting away with a lot of shit. In Roblox. YouTube, how about that? DA'd or whatever. And it's actually some woman in a domestic thing or that I'm helping. And it's like, idiot. Well, that's just worse, because now it's like you're making a joke about at the expense of this lady's DV case that is inside to only you. So that's like a weird, gross, cringe thing. I think you're lying, and I think you're just backpedaling now because people didn't bite on your joke, which all you do is just tell people, I'm fucking kidding. It's Twitter. I write rawr in all my tweets because that's what he does. Like, get the fuck out of here. Who cares? I make cringy TikToks with Mercedes Mone. Who gives a shit? I'm just joking. So, I don't know, man. People blew it out of proportion. And then he just fucked it up by like backing down and being like, no, I'm just kidding. I was just joking about this really serious thing that I'm working on. This case I'm working on. So Tony Khan and Grado were together ahead of tonight's show in Glasgow. Grado got to have a match in the ROH pre-show taping. Speaking of that book, one lucky winner will receive an AEW All Elite Experience VIP package for 2, which includes priority entry and seating, ringside photos, photo op with an AEW star. And what does that mean? Here's just like, here's fucking just someone on Tony Nese. Like, what does that mean? It could be anybody. VIP reception and souvenirs, tickets to a Dynamite or Collision taping of choice in the US. And then this book or whatever. This book they're fucking shilling, which Jericho's on the front and center. He's leaning into leaving this company. So the Beast Mortis says, I'm actually working on a real case about a woman who suffered physical violence in her marriage. But it's funny to know that they linked it to the character. No, that's not funny, bro. That's the thing. That's not funny. You made it about something. You fucking mark! You're trying to backtrack, and now it's like, well, so you were just inside joking to yourself about a woman who was beat up in her marriage. Is that what you mean to tell me? A little off there. So I knew it. AEW gives away free floor seats to Dynamite and Collision in Glasgow or whatever the fuck. Yeah, guys, this is nothing new. Even WWE does it. So this isn't, but they will pad their houses. Like AEW will pad the shit out of their houses. More so than WWE will, especially on the pay-per-views. So AR Gold posted, Tony Khan says the biggest misconception of AEW right now is that it doesn't tell stories. There's a lot of good storytelling in AEW. So this is what Tony Khan has to say. I think we covered this before, but we'll cover it again. Here's the problem. Just because there's a story, when people say, this is the problem with these dumb fucks, they don't understand the common, it's like they don't share the commonality of language with everybody else. And so when you say something, these messages don't convey properly to them, or they're not received properly by them because they don't understand, like they're illiterate or something. I don't get it. Yes, just because there's storytelling happening doesn't mean it's a good story. So listen, Edge and Christian getting together, yes, this is a story, and it has been building for a while, and it is a story. When people say no story, they don't mean like there's literally no story. They mean there's no story. It's nothing of substance. There's nothing there. It's a nothing burger. That's what they mean. You guys are like, I don't understand how you don't grasp that concept. And it's like, with the Christian Edge thing, could that have been booked 10 billion times better, their reunion? Abso-fucking-lutely. Have there been storylines that banged in AEW? Yeah, especially early on. Especially when Punk came back for a bit. There were some slappers. Just because there's stories going on, it doesn't automatically make them good or make the criticism of there's no stories invalid. We don't mean literally no, they don't exist, stupid. We mean no, there's nothing of substance. It's an expression, right? It's a fucking expression. Jesus Christ.
Now what would you say right now is like the biggest misconception of AEW?
I think the stories in AEW have been as strong as ever. The wrestling, people will say AEW is great. I think a lot of people would concede the action in wrestling, the athletic action is absolutely fantastic. Everyone agrees. And also, if you haven't seen the show lately, or if you're just listening to a false narrative, and you can tell me honestly whether you agree with this or not, Josh, I think the stories in AEW have been fantastic this year.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been talking a long time about some of the great stories in AEW. And you even just said how fantastic you thought some of the storytelling around Jon Moxley's World Championship reign has been. People even question that aspect of it. And I think that was proven right. But then certainly whether you love them or not, nobody can question. There's a lot of storytelling in AEW. I think it's fantastic. And a lot of the fans who actually pay attention to it think it's great. But there will be people, tell me if you agree with this or not, there's people that would say that there's a lack, and I don't agree with this, I think it's untrue, of stories in AEW. I don't think that's true at all. And
there's people that would say the fucking earth is flat, Tony Khan. Like, what
The
are
best
you
guys, Tony
getting
Khan.
at? We could play that all day. There's people that say Hitler was a good guy, okay? People say a lot of shit that's dumb and doesn't make any fucking sense.
It's really, I think, not only a misconception, but a falsehood that people spread.
I think
people say a lot of shit that's right too, Tony, and the fact that there's a lack of stories. I don't know if we're saying there's no story. We mean like, no, there's nothing of substance, bro.
Now what would you say right now is
like any other TV show would have gotten canceled by now. We've already sort of dove into the, well, here, let's get through this here. So Paul Ellering interested in managing his daughter, Rachel Ellering, in AEW. That would be cool. I'd be down with that. So WrestlePalooza and AEW All Out. We'll talk more about WrestlePalooza in a bit. They'll be going head-to-head next month. This marks the first time that an AEW pay-per-view will go up against an WWE pay-per-view. And I don't know if this is technically a WWE pay-per-view, though. Like, they're trying to chalk it up. You have to pay to see it. But a lot of this ESPN shit has been hashed out. We'll talk about it in a bit. Beast Mortis, yeah, this is him saying, preparing the lawsuit. See you in court. Rar. He always does this rar shit. Like, he's obviously kidding. Speaking of Grado debuting in AEW, Isla Dawn is officially in AEW. Makes her debut against Megan Bayne on the Collision taping. She for sure is losing it, which is the right thing to do. And this doesn't mean she's signed. She's just in AEW doing a spot now. She got to keep her same name. And Tony did the right thing by having her lose, but They could have did this on TV, I think. So pretty good reception. Good for her, man. She should get a push in TNA or AEW. The Beast Mortis says, well, getting paid every week for doing nothing doesn't make me this sad. And so Beast Mortis flat out says, I get paid every week for doing nothing. When someone said to him, like, look at what they said to him, talking about Tony wasting money, preparing the lawsuit, see you in court. Will Tony ever book you? So Tony doesn't book you, so does it matter? Getting paid every week to do nothing doesn't make me that sad. Which, I mean, it wouldn't make me sad either, but fuck, man, like Tony.
The best guy is Tony Khan.
What's going on over there? Checking in with chat real quick. We're almost done this chunk. I accidentally dove into that one Tony Cringe clip a moment too early, but we have Tony Cringe coming up here. Lance Storm or Mercedes Moné holding so many championships, though. We talked about it. She's about to win a Scottish belt. And he says, I think there's a younger generation that just thinks more belts, more belts, more belts. Everything's great. She's got 27 belts. Boom. You nailed it. He nailed it. But I think there's people like you and I who belts are supposed to be prestigious, and an AEW championship or a Ring of Honor championship has a degree of prestige. But if you've never heard of the promotion, never heard of the belt, never heard of the woman she defeated, then it just starts delving into comedy. Exactly, bro. Exactly. And you know what they say, Lance Storm? You know what they say, dude.
Sometimes in life, you got to be a hoe.
And he says, or at least there's lesser belts bringing down the ones that are supposed to be important. If you can't actually name the belt, it's like, what do they mean? But I think there is a younger generation of fans that just think more belts, the better. If a company has 57 belts, that's awesome because 57 people get to have belts. That's what a lot of these WWE wacko redacts do too, where they're like, man, fucking Frazier, or like, you guys slept on Andrade, let this man cook, should be world champion. In their minds, everyone should be the world champion at some point, and everyone should get a run, and everyone should be, it's like, not everyone can do that. You know, you have to bring guys in who are like Shelton Benjamins. We look at him as he's athletically one of the best, you know, and he was so buttery smooth in there at his peak. But he doesn't need to be world champion. Not everybody. Sami Zayn doesn't ever need to be a world fucking champion. Okay. He doesn't need it to fucking round out his career. It'd be nice. He doesn't fucking need it though. So Warner Bros. Discovery shuts down 4 cable TV channels. Okay. The HBO Family, Thriller Max, Movie Max, and Outer Max. The decision underscores WBD's aggressive pivot towards its streaming platform Max as cable TV continues to lose ground on demand services. This marks a significant moment in the ongoing evolution of the entertainment landscape, with HBO signaling a clear focus on its digital future. So yeah, man. Hopefully AEW lands somewhere. I'm sure it'll be fine, and as long as they have 500,000 people watching their show live at a time, I think they'll keep them on TBS or TNT or whatever. But Collision will be gone sooner than later. I'm willing to bet money that it goes exclusively to streaming in this middle 2026 shit. ESPN has officially removed the AEW tab whenever their TV deal is up. ESPN has officially removed the AEW tab when searching pro wrestling on the official website. So there's no longer an AEW tab because they are in the WWE business. That is fucking brutality. So Ace Austin, which we're going to go over here to TNA news for 1 second. TNA news and AEW news are overlapping here a little bit today, which is totally fine because that's how we do shit here at PWT. So I will hit a banjo, although it's just like a sub segment. But Ace Austin's deal with TNA was up earlier this year, and the company was hopeful to retain him, but they couldn't agree on financial terms after negotiating. The AEW deal is multi-year in length. Chris Bay's TNA contract would have been up if not for his unfortunate accident in the ring. Are they really going to freeze his shit? TNA sources indicate that Chris Bay's deal was nearing its end, but that he is still considered with the company and is being paid under the terms of his deal. So, okay, they're just like, bro, your shit's frozen, but we're going to pay you through all of this and take care of you. So that's awesome. Shout out TNA for that. So we head back over to AEW news, and Ace Austin signs and gets the graphic, like he's all elite officially, and that's a great, unless this at wrestling covers made this one. If they made that themselves, then that's fucked, right? But he cuts this like vignette promo thing backstage. We're gonna look at that. Ace Austin, yeah. So I guess Tony Khan confirmed he's all elite. So this is a great young prospect. If they book him correctly, I mean, he could be their next Kyle Fletcher, one of these guys they could really bank on. I thought for sure Ace Austin was going to go to WWE. Tony probably offered him a lot of money because he's for certainly a mark for Ace and Bay. And there are some stories to tell there with the ABCs. Like Ace and Bay kept the Bullet Club shit alive longer than I think most people think it should have been. But they managed to make it work by making it their own thing with the ABCs. And I'm a big Ace Austin fan, so hey, man, I hope he's getting paid in the shade and he'll eventually make his way to WWE one day, I'm sure. And hopefully he can be a part of a new wave of guys who do good things for AEW. You know, I can only hope for the best. And so Tony Khan is here announcing to the public that he is all elite. We have a couple different angles, folks. And this is our Tony Khan Cringe segment.
Okay, I have a question for you. Ace Austin, would you like to be all elite?
Imagine if he didn't know beforehand and he's like, Tony. It's like when those girls get proposed to in public and they're like, no, not right now. Tony, I'm seeing someone else. Look how he's standing there. Do you want to go to prom with me? Look how he's standing. He's about to like do the thing where he rocks forward onto his tippy toes. They hug. He lifts one leg in the air.
I've been really good for a long time, but really good isn't good enough. Exceptional isn't good enough. I think I want to be elite.
Okay, I have a question for you. Ace Austin, would you like to be all elite?
Sorry, I just wanted to see his little pose. His little fucking, I'm just waiting for the school bus. You gotta love it. I'm surprised he didn't like full-blown hug him. They just shook hands. Way more professional, Tony. He like hugs him. He swings him around. So here's Tony Khan out there in front of the crowd. I don't know if he's introducing Ace Austin or if this was earlier in the night or whatever, but I think this is the same show.
Come back again.
It was after the show, pardon me.
Year after year, we bring all the big AEW shows here. We've had so many great AEW events here. I absolutely love Cleveland. And right now, that's what I do. And right now, moments from now, we've got some of the greatest wrestlers in the world in the back. And they haven't even been out here yet. They want to come out here and wrestle right now on ROH.
See, this is what he does, man. Yeah, so he comes out and he thinks like him talking is going to keep people in the building when they think the show's over. Then he's like, ROH. And then a bunch of people are like, what? I've seen it with my own eyes, goddammit. They're just all like, what the fuck?
I'm talking some of the best wrestlers on the planet getting warmed up to come out here and wrestle for you in Cleveland right here, right now, tonight. We're almost ready to get going. But I got to say, one thing I know about Cleveland, you are probably the greatest sports fans in the world. Right? So I gotta ask you, Cleveland, since you're some of the greatest sports fans in the world.
Jesus Christ. He says that to every city. You go, Pittsburgh. I'm pretty sure Pittsburgh's one of the great sports. Boss town, am I right? So AEW is getting beat by the Performance Center week after week, and Tony Clueless Khan can't keep his mouth shut.
Special commentator. Before I do, ladies and gentlemen, we don't have a Performance Center in AEW. This is the Performance Center. Special comment.
Yeah, that's the fucking problem. Still bringing up WWE. We don't have a Performance Center. That's why fucking Blue Sky is doing Sky Blue's doing fucking her move on the outside of the ring and looking like a dork because we can't properly fucking train anybody. So Ace Austin tells Alicia tout this. He gets confronted, I think, by Stinkashay.
Ace Austin, I saw you here backstage at AEW, so I had to pull you aside for a little chat. What are you doing here?
Well, when I heard that All Elite Wrestling was coming to Cincinnati, Ohio, I thought, hell, that's practically my backyard. So I might as well come by and say hello to some old friends. And let's be honest, Alicia, I am indeed a free agent. And so maybe while I'm here, I thought I'd like to find out why they say that AEW is where the best wrestle.
Look, guys, it's Ace Austin. It's Ace Austin. And look, I'll give you one compliment. You must be doing something right because I know who you are. I know where you came from, and I know everything that you're capable of. And it's great that you say you want to test yourself against the best, right? Well, look no further because the best is standing right in front of you. And it's great you say, he says he's a free agent. He says he's available. He's a free agent. That's great. That's great. How about this? How about you show up this Saturday on Collision where the only thing free is his ass whipping you gonna get.
Didn't he lose to Ricochet as well in his debut or something like that? Fucking terrible. So Tony Khan says he's never particularly, or this is according to Fightful, so this could all be a lie. Tony Khan had never particularly been a fan of Evil's work, which is why he hadn't even been booked for AEW Forbidden Door or even Ring of Honor. It was noted that Tony Khan doesn't control or affect how the G1 is booked, especially with Evil going to the finals. Well, yeah, Forbidden Door's an AEW show. He can't control how New Japan's booked, obviously. But okay, he's not a fan of Evil, I guess. So just burying Evil. So here's a throwback. We're going to hit a flashback. Here is, because it's the 4-year anniversary of like, oh, Punk debuted in AEW. And instead of looking at that again, like everybody did, or has done, or is going to do, I want to fucking look at Tony Khan.
Tony Khan.
I want to look at him doing this fucking speech after he kicked Punk out.
Career.
So here, actually, let's hit a flashback. A good old time travel for this next segment here.
Career. Today, I terminated Phil Brooks, CM Punk, for cause. This stems from a backstage incident at AEW All In last Sunday. The incident was regrettable, and it endangered people backstage. That includes the production staff, the people who help put the show on every week, innocent people who had nothing.
And then we saw the video, and it was just nothing. It was nothing. People get in worse fights with their siblings, dude.
To do with it. I've been going to wrestling shows for over 30 years. I've been producing them on this network for nearly 4 years. Never in all that time have I ever felt until last Sunday that my security, my safety, my life was in danger at a wrestling show. I don't think anybody should feel that way at work. I don't think the people I work with should feel that way. And I had to make a very difficult choice.
It's crazy you would fucking go on TV and say this restarted shit, and then you do an angle where the Bucks pile drive you on your neck and you're in a brace and you're like, I'm lucky to be here. I could have died. And then you have some of the shit they've done with like exploding boots and near deaths and impalings and fucking no one should feel unsafe at work. And then this fucking camera guy gets shoved after he hands Moxley a screwdriver. You guys are being sued. Like, you think they're not going to play this? Nobody should feel unsafe at work. The dude's like, I felt unsafe. This fucking bald-headed idiot pushed me. It's so goofy. I swear to God, you got to look at AEW as a parody of pro wrestling.
It came at the recommendation of a discipline committee here in AEW, as well as outside legal counsel, who delivered a unanimous recommendation.
Yeah, someone pointed out in chat, like, did Tony grow up going to ECW shows like he claimed? So did you feel more endangered there when people are flying over you through tables and Spike Dudley's being thrown in the crowd and people are hurling their chairs and there's fucking almost near riots breaking out and New Jack's beat fucking Sandman's whipping someone with a cane in the fucking audience, like luchas are diving full force into the crowd. Like, what are you talking about?
And I have followed up on that recommendation. I'm sorry to any fans who are upset by this.
It's just lol cow shit, dude. More like AEW lolin, am I right? That, ladies and gentlemen, Ichi Nisanda all together for AEW news, ladies and gentlemen. Where is my Ichi Nisanda?